Find what feels like play to you, but work to others is a very flawed concept. I'll tell you why in a second. Every single one of us has a life task. Every single one of us was designed to do something. I'm not talking about talent, but there was something you were put on this earth to create. Why don't people achieve their goals? Because in order to be unique, in order to explore your unique talents, you have to be unique. People are scared of being different. Because when you're different, you are teased. When you're different, you become isolated. And every single person on this earth, I wouldn't want to use every single person, but a large percentile would rather trade their giftings and talents for comfort. Conforming to mainstream media and society has become the norm. So anything other than that is unacceptable. You're scared to be different. You won't guarantee that if I go XYZ, if I go all in on cooking, especially your talent would not make sense to you because familiarity breeds contempt. What you see as talent is common sense, or what others see as talent is common sense. Say, for instance, you are a talented chef. You can't cook a tasty meal. What? To you, it doesn't make sense. You can't comprehend the fact that people lack this ability. As a consequence, you do not believe there is financial profitability in this venture. As a consequence, you remain average, although you have the talent, refusing to hone it even further. It's not worth the time. Even if you do try, the debilitating results would reaffirm the philosophy that this isn't worth it. And unfortunately, success is a consequence of amalgamated effort. So you need to be patient. Most of you will click on this video and expect to get an immediate answer, expect to implement an action that yields profiting immediately. In fact, every single advice, every single action, every single principle I give yields profit. The question now becomes, to what degree? The degree of profit, the degree of harvest you want to yield in a day is equivalent to that of a year or 2 years worth of consistent sacrifice. That's the problem with people today. They are very impatient. People want every single thing given to them quickly. Instant results. I want to go to the gym and see improvement. I lift dumbbell for 2 days, 3 days, and I'm checking my biceps to see if there's any change. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You see this in the lives of very successful people. They are different. They've embraced that uniqueness and turned it into profit. Take Elon, for instance. The reason he's so celebrated and revered across various stratas is because he's managed to blend his uniqueness, combine it with business. As a consequence, very successful. Taylor Swift, whether you like her or not, is a different discourse in and of itself. But as professionals, you must be able to distinguish the person from results. Her results brought $1 billion in her last tour. $1 billion. I don't think Taylor Swift is working as hard as you and I. Hard work doesn't lead to success. Working hard on the right things is what leads to success. But as long as you do not embrace your uniqueness, your giftings, first off, the effort would be contrived. It will be mechanic. You're not enjoying the process. In fact, it even makes it worth doing because you have to impose some kind of discipline which reaffirms or you feed yourself psychologically that you are working hard. So people detest the idea of that play concept. And life is filled with hidden contradiction. We all say, find what seems like play to you, but work to others. When we do find that activity, we do not take it serious because it is play. A video I shared recently of how the police raided my house. I said, it's an activity you detest as well as desire. If the police raided your apartment and took everybody except you, it's not a miracle. You have to go on a retreat and ask questions. Why, God? Why me? It's not a miracle. You need to go on a retreat. But overall, work hard. In fact, you need you need faith, you need persistence, you need belief. More of those three entities than the discovery of the potential. Because it takes faith, courage, belief in order to dive in, go all in on cooking, go all in on barbing. In fact, I have a very interesting story surrounding that work, that's barbing. My barber was a guy I met in a very small kiosk, and how we met was very interesting. Because of this scar on my head here, barbers find it very difficult to carve my hair. As a consequence, they always set my hairline 41 to 2 inches back. Every haircut session was like a funeral to me. I remember pushing my haircut session from 2 weeks to a month. If you've heard my story, you know I grew up in a community without electricity, so I had a roster. As a consequence, I'm going to charge my devices here. I'll charge my devices here. On this day, I was scheduled to charge my device in that small kiosk for a very young guy. And you know when the relationship is now parasitic because you've taken. I've come here to charge my phone. So I'm like, one day I'm going to patronize you. I'm going to utilize your services. I'm about to go to the slaughterhouse, which is some barber salon that would mess up my hairline. Decided to give him a try. I opened my eyes and blew my mind. He did the airline so well that even when I moved out of that community, I would request home services, fly him out across states. And when I became established, one of the things I did, are you willing to move? Of course I am. I got him full accommodation in an upscale place in XYZ location. Got him one of the best hair salons. Cut my hair, be close to me. I'm tired of flying you out on a consistent basis. Now, if you have asked that young man, give me a logical breakdown of how you would leave this small kiosk. Give me a logical breakdown of how you would move from this kiosk to luxury apartment in an upscale place in Nigeria. Give me a logical breakdown of how you would move to luxurious salon in an upscale place in Nigeria. He can't. Most of you fail. Most of you do not even want to try. Most of you are ashamed to start from a very small kiosk. Most of you do not want to be ridiculed. You prioritize people's opinion over yours. It's a terrible way to exist. Had he not started, had he not cut my hair perfectly, which is another thing I would like to say, because majority of you thrive in the idea. When I meet someone rich, when I have audience, I'll make the content more enjoyable. When I'm sewing for a billionaire, I'll give him good quality. My friend, the chances of you meeting a billionaire at a very low quality service is zero. Even if that kind of person gravitate towards your services, what you would regard as quality might be substandard to him. Keep giving out value, keep giving out quality services, keep honing your gifts, and you'll be fine. Majority of you miss opportunities consistently as a consequence of substandard services. You have no idea who you are serving, but as long as your services are top notch on a long enough time frame, you will be lifted. I'm giving you the secret to lifting. Always make whatever it is you're doing the best and leave the rest to a power you do not understand. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. See you in the next one.